I was 7 years old when I became a thief. Took me 40 years to understand why that Snickers bar changed everything. You ever do something as a kid that still sits with you? Something small maybe, something nobody else even remembers. But you do. You remember the smell of that place, the sound, the exact way your hands felt after. I'm Midnight Leon, and you're listening to Golden Days Radio. Tonight we're going back to the summer of 1972. Corner store, sticky floors, and a choice I wasn't ready to make. Lean in with me, folks, because this isn't just about candy. It was August, the kind of August that makes you forget winter ever existed. The kind where the asphalt shimmers like water and your shirt clings to your back before you even step off the porch. I was 7, maybe 8, and my mama had sent me on an errand, a simple errand, the kind kids did back then without thinking twice. "Leon," she said, pressing $2 bills and some change into my palm, "go to Mr. Coleman's, get me a loaf of bread and a quart of milk, and come straight back, you hear me?" "Yes, ma'am." $2.35. I can still feel those coins, warm and slightly damp from her hand. Mr. Coleman's store sat on the corner of Ashby and 7th. Little brick building with a red awning that was faded to almost pink. You could see it from 3 blocks away. That bell on the door. Did you have a store like that in your neighborhood? One with a bell that jingled when you walked in? The kind of bell that announced you, told the owner someone was coming? I loved that sound. Inside, the store smelled like floor wax and old wood and something sweet I could never quite name. And maybe it was the penny candy near the register, maybe it was the bubble gum, I don't know. But I can smell it right now, folks, right now, sitting here in this studio. I can smell Mr. Coleman's store. The floor was wooden. Dark planks that creaked when you walked. And there was always this hum, the cooler in the back, keeping the milk and butter cold, working overtime in that August heat. Mr. Coleman was a tall man, dark skin that seemed to shine under the fluorescent lights, silver hair, glasses that sat low on his nose like they might fall off any second, but they never did. He'd been running that store since before I was born, knew everybody, knew which kids said yes sir and no sir, knew which kids had sticky fingers. I was one of the good ones. At least, I thought I was. So I walked in that day, bell jingling above my head, and I felt important. 7 years old, walking into Mr. Coleman's store with money in my pocket and a mission from Mama. I went straight to the back where the bread was. White bread in those plastic bags with the red, yellow, and blue polka dots. Wonder bread, I think. Maybe Sunbeam. The bag crinkled when I picked it up. Then over to the cooler for the milk. The glass door was cold against my palm when I opened it. That rush of cool air felt like heaven. But on my way to the register, I had to pass the candy aisle. And that's where everything changed. Rows and rows of candy bars, all lined up on those metal racks. Snickers, Milky Way, Three Musketeers, Baby Ruth, Hershey's, Reese's. I stopped. I loved Snickers, the peanuts, the caramel that stretched when you bit into it, the way the chocolate would get soft if you held it too long in your hand. But Mama hadn't given me money for candy, just bread and milk. $2.35. That was it. I stood there, staring at that Snickers bar. And here's the thing, my friend. Here's the thing I've thought about for 50-some years. I wasn't a bad kid. I didn't go into that store planning to steal. I wasn't some little criminal. I was just a kid. A hot, tired kid who wanted something sweet. But I reached out, picked up that Snickers bar, and I slid it into my pocket, just like that. My heart started pounding, not fast, but hard, like someone was knocking on my chest from the inside. Boom, boom, boom. I could hear it in my ears. I walked up to the counter. Mr. Coleman looked up from his newspaper and smiled at me. That warm smile he had. The kind that made you feel safe. "Hey there, Leon. How's your mama?" "She's good, Mr. Coleman." My voice sounded strange, too high. "Bread and milk today?" "Yes, sir." He rang it up on that old register, the kind with the big buttons that went cha-chunk when you pressed them. $2.35. I handed him the money. My hand was shaking. I don't know if he noticed he gave me back 12 cents, a dime and 2 pennies. Dropped them into my palm. "You tell your mama I said hello." "Yes, sir." And I walked out. Bell jingled behind me. I made it halfway down the block before my legs just stopped moving. I stood there on the sidewalk, bread in one hand, milk in the other, and that Snickers bar burning a hole in my pocket like it was on fire. The sun was beating down, cicadas screaming in the trees. Somebody's sprinkler was going that ch-ch-ch sound, and I felt sick. Did you ever feel like the whole world could see inside you? Like everyone knew what you'd done, even though nobody was even looking? That's how I felt. I walked home, gave Mama the bread and the milk and the 12 cents. She thanked me, kissed my forehead, sent me outside to play. But I couldn't play. I sat on the front steps with that candy bar in my pocket, and I just sat there. Here's the thing nobody tells you about guilt, folks. It doesn't go away. You think maybe if you wait long enough, if you hide it deep enough, it'll just fade like an old bruise. But it doesn't. It grows. I kept that Snickers bar for 3 days, 3 whole days. Didn't eat it, couldn't eat it, didn't throw it away. Just kept it hidden in my drawer, under my socks and underwear. And every time I walked past Mr. Coleman's store, every single time, I felt like I was gonna throw up. By the second day, I started wondering if I was a thief now. Like, was that what I was? A thief? Because I'd never thought of myself that way before. But now, I had stolen something. So didn't that make me a thief? You ever have a moment where you see yourself different? Where you look in the mirror and you're not sure who you're looking at anymore? That was me, 7 years old, looking at myself in the bathroom mirror, wondering who I was. The third night, I couldn't sleep. I just lay there in the dark, listening to the sound of my parents talking low in the other room. My father's deep voice, my mama's laugh. And I thought about that candy bar in my drawer. And I knew I couldn't live like this. On the 4th day, I waited until late afternoon. When the sun was starting to slant through the trees and most folks were home starting dinner, I knew Mr. Coleman would be alone in the store, no other customers, just him. I pulled that Snickers bar out of my drawer. It was melted a little on one side. Wrapper was wrinkled and damp. I held it in my hand, took a deep breath, and I walked to Mr. Coleman's store. The bell jingled when I walked in. Same sound, but it felt different this time. He looked up from behind the counter, smiled. "Hey, Leon, back again." I didn't say anything. My throat was too tight. I walked up to the counter, reached into my pocket, and I put that Snickers bar down between us. Mr. Coleman looked at it, looked at me. He didn't say a word. And folks, that silence was worse than any yelling I'd ever heard. Worse than any punishment. That silence was so loud I thought my ears might burst. And that's when I started crying. Right there in Mr. Coleman's store. 7 years old, tears streaming down my face, and I couldn't stop them, couldn't hold them back. "I'm sorry," I said. My voice was all broken up. "I'm sorry, Mr. Coleman. I took it. I didn't pay for it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." He let me cry. Didn't rush me. Didn't tell me to hush. Just stood there and let me get it all out. When I finally looked up, he was leaning on the counter with both hands, looking at me with those eyes that had seen everything. Wars, segregation, hard times, kids like me. "Leon," he said softly. "You know what you did was wrong." "Yes, sir." I could barely get the words out. "And you know why it was wrong?" "Yes, sir." He picked up the candy bar, held it in his hand, turned it over like he was examining it. "This costs 30 cents, he said. "You stole 30 cents from me." Fresh tears. I nodded. "But you came back." I looked up at him. "You brought it back," he said. "And you told me the truth. That takes courage, son. That takes real courage." He opened the register. That same che-chunk sound. He pulled out some coins, a dime, a nickel, 3 pennies. "This is your change from the other day," he said. "You gave me $2.35. Bread and milk cost $2.17, so I owe you 18 cents. He put the coins in my hand. They felt cold. "Now," he said, "you owe me 30 cents for this candy bar, but I'm going to let you work it off. You come by here tomorrow after school. I got some boxes in the back need moving. Some shelves need dusting. You do that for me. We'll call it even." I stared at him. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You mean, you're not going to tell my mama?" He smiled. Just a little. Just at the corners of his mouth. "I'm not going to tell your mama," he said. "But you are." My stomach dropped right through the floor. "You're going to go home tonight," he said. "And you're going to tell her what you did. And you're going to tell her what we agreed. Because a man doesn't hide his mistakes, Leon. A man owns them. A man makes them right." He held out the Snickers bar. "And when you're done working it off tomorrow, this is yours. You'll have earned it." That walk home felt like the longest walk of my life. Every step felt heavy, like my shoes were made of concrete. I told Mama that night. Sat at the kitchen table, that yellow formica table with the metal legs, and I told her everything. She didn't yell, didn't raise her voice, didn't reach for the belt. She just looked at me. And the look on her face, my friend, I can still see it. Disappointment, but also something else, something softer. "You did the right thing going back," she finally said. "That took courage, real courage." Then she was quiet for a moment. "But you broke trust, baby, and trust is everything. You understand that?" "Yes, ma'am. Mr. Coleman trusted you. I trusted you. And you broke that." I started crying again. Second time that day. She pulled me close, let me cry into her shoulder. "But you can earn it back," she whispered. "You can always earn it back." I worked off that 30 cents the next day. Went to Mr. Coleman's store right after school, swept floors, moved boxes from the storage room to the shelves, dusted the top shelves where the cereal boxes sat. Mr. Coleman worked right alongside me, showed me how to stack cans so they wouldn't fall, how to rotate the stock so the old stuff was in front, how to make everything look neat and clean. We didn't talk much, but it felt good. It felt honest. When I was done, he walked over to the register, opened it, pulled out that Snickers bar. He kept it in there, under the cash tray. "You earned this," he said. "Put it in my hand. Thank you, Mr. Coleman." "You're a good kid, Leon. Don't forget that." I ate that candy bar on the way home. Sat on the curb under a big oak tree and ate it slow. Savored every bite, the peanuts, the caramel, the chocolate. And you know what, folks? It was the best candy bar I ever had in my life. Not because it tasted better, but because I'd earned it. I'd made a mistake. I'd owned it. I'd made it right. And that changes everything. I'm 63 years old now, my friend. Mr. Coleman's store is long gone. They tore it down in the early 90s, built a parking lot. You wouldn't even know it was there. Mr. Coleman passed away in 1989. I went to his funeral, shook hands with his family, told them he was a good man, a great man. I never stole again, not once, not ever. Not because I was scared, but because Mr. Coleman taught me something that summer, something I've carried my whole life. He could have banned me from his store, could have called my mama right then and there, could have made me feel like I was dirt, like I was nothing. But he didn't. He gave me grace. He gave me a chance to make it right. He gave me dignity when I didn't deserve it. And he taught me that you are not your worst mistake. You are what you do after. So let me ask you something, and you don't have to answer out loud, but think about it tonight when you're lying in the dark. Is there something you're still carrying? Something small, maybe. Something from a long time ago. Something you never made right. Maybe it's a lie you told. Maybe it's something you took. Maybe it's something you said that you can't take back. Whatever it is, it's never too late. It's never too late to own it, to face it, to make it right. And when you do, when you finally put it down, you'll be free. I promise you that. I'm Midnight Leon. Thank you for sitting with me tonight here on Golden Days Radio. Stay tuned, folks, because next time I'm going to tell you about my father's hands, the hands that could fix anything except the one thing that was breaking him. And I didn't see it until it was too late. Until then, keep the lights low and the memories warm. This is your night companion, signing off. Good night, my friend.